Hello everyone, my name is Mitz, here at Phoenix Wright Contempt Court. So last time we ended off with Miss Weaver just basically telling everyone, I have proof that Smith was there, and it's on this cellular device to prove it. So like, lay it on us. Did you just like take a picture, or just like, something like that? Lay it on us. Cell phone. That's one of those newfangled portable telephones, isn't it? No, it's a 3D printer. What else is it? Yes, well, I've always been against the idea of conforming to all this technology. My daughter managed to convince me to get one for myself. You remind me of my friend who's completely anti-modern technology. My god, I don't want to surface those conversations up again. I see. I do envy you, Miss Weaver. If you would care to return to the topic at hand, I mean, your cell phone should still be in your hand right now, so, get to it. And ask the witness how exactly your cell phone incriminates the defendant. Indeed. How is your cell telephone relevant? That morning, as I left the house to go to work, I was speaking to my daughter on this very phone. So when the assailant spoke back to you when you wished him a good morning, imagine your cell's microphone would have picked up his voice? Oh. Correct, laddie. And you know what else? I have a recording of the conversation. What? Why did you not present this to me in the first place? Well, excuse me for not being hip with the kids. Hip with the kids. Dab, okay. I'm in the process of learning all of its functions and whatnots. Oh boy. I think a telephonic granny wouldn't even know how to text. And yet you managed to work out how to record a cell phone conversation? Oh boy. Well now, I propose that we listen to this new piece of evidence. Yes, Headmaster, I shall play it to all of you in the class. Oh no. Ah, blast it, I can't figure these things out. Don't look at me either. I wouldn't know a cell telephone from the larger one. There's a larger one? Are you talking about a landline phone? Jesus, those have been discontinued for as long as I know. And also phone booths. I haven't seen a phone booth in who knows how long. Oh my god. Just give it to someone else, please. Oh my god. Oh, for pity's sake, I'll do it. Thank you, finally. Hello, who's this? It's me, Lily, remember? Your only daughter? Oh yes, I had dementia. Oh, I'm sorry, dear, I didn't recognize your voice. Way to go, Mom. I guess I need to come visit you more often. You're up early, dear. What's wrong? I know you're probably on your way to work, so I'll be quick. Oh, that's right, I'm just leaving the house right now, and... Is that... Oh, excuse me a second. Good morning to you, Mr. Brisbane. Oh, morning to you too, Morag. You still there, Mom? Yes, I'll call you back, dear. Conversation recorded, April 13th, 5:03 a.m. That can't be. The person that can be heard in the background of that recording. What is the meaning of this, Detective Smith? What is even... That wasn't me? Huh. Order! 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 I will have order! Oh boy. Wait, you said it wasn't you, but... Well, now this is a turn up for the books. Our man has been caught up by a cell telephone, his voice being that of a defendant. Cell telephone. I believe that this is more than proves the assailant to be Detective Smith. Not good, not good. I have to discredit that recording or we're finished. Your Honor, I would like to ask Ms. Weaver to testify about that recording. Oh boy. It has already been established the defendant's voice is present in the recording. Are you perhaps hoping to somehow debunk that fact with a cross-examination? He's right, that voice in the background is Detective Smith, no doubt about it. Okay, but there has to be something that proves this is all a big mistake. Defense demands Ms. Weaver gives a full account of what she saw and heard that morning. I must admit, Mr. Wright, that I fail to see what new information can be provided right now. In light of the evidence provided to the court, would you like me to grant your request? I'll go back now. This is my last chance to keep the case from ending here. I would, Your Honor. Oh boy, oh boy. Only place to go then forward. That's settled. Miss Weaver, we would like to hear one more testimony from you. Huh. I heard the boy, Headmaster. I'm not deaf. And you're telephone phobic. Yeah. At least it's better than about being robophobic. They silence a voice. I was speaking with my daughter on the phone as I left the house. That was when I spotted who I thought was Mr. Brisbane. I called out to him. Good morning, Mr. Brisbane, I said. In response, he glanced over his shoulder and I spotted that frightening mask of his. Morning to you too, Morag, was his response. The whole affair took place shortly after 5 a.m. as heard at the end of the recording. Just listen to the response. That's Master Smith, without a shadow of a doubt. Oh boy. Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? This testimony does nothing but tell us what we already know. If you think you can find any new information from this, Wright, by all means be my guest. But first, it goes without saying that we add this new evidence to the court record. Conversation transcript. Okay. This is it. I have to find something here. Even if it's all a rehash of what we already know. In your own time, Mr. Wright. Begin the cross-examination. Oh, I'll do it in my own time. So we run out of time and I'm, you know, get kicked out of the courthouse. Onwards and upwards. He silenced his voice. Speaking to my daughter on the telephone as they left the house. May I ask why your daughter chose to ring you at that exact time? I'll ask you to stay out of the witness's private life, right? What she and her daughter spoke of on the phone obviously has no bearing in this case. And you have no right to go prying into the affairs of others. Correct answer, Master Edgeworth. Indeed, Master Wright, your gold star record does not entitle you to my personal life details. You took them all off of me. Not allowed to sink at least a little low? Let's move on. You left the house while I was on the phone to your daughter. What next? Dang it, we can't ask you about personal details. That was when I spotted who I thought was Mr. Brisbane. Even though he had a cloak on and all that? Was there anything else about his appearance that made you think it was Brisbane? He was wearing a hoodie with his back to me. What do you think, boy? There was nothing aside from the fact that he left from Mr. Brisbane's house. Huh. I called out to him. Good morning, Mr. Brisbane, I said. Do you greet him every morning? It's common courtesy, Master Wright. You should try it sometime. Oh boy. I wholeheartedly agree, witness. What happened to me being top of the class? I don't think you're any better, Master Edgeworth. You're still at the back of the class as far as I'm concerned. What? I mean, sorry, Miss Weaver? How's the view from the back of the class, Edgeworth? Oh my god, we're laying into him now. You need to have a telescope over the back of that classroom, you ditz. How's the view from up in the clouds, right? Oh, good one. Ahem, if I can just break up this lunchroom squabble. Well, I mean, it's a good thing there's not a food fight going around right now. I'm the headmaster around here, and I said we get back to the testimony. Don't you agree? Yes, Your Honor. My apologies, Your Honor. Now, Miss Weaver, where were we? You were saying how you greeted Mr. Brisbane like always? How did he respond again? In response, he glanced over his shoulder and spotted that frightening mask of his. It's a bit of a strange reaction, don't you think? Oh, so, Mr. Wright? If I was walking around at all hours wearing a suspicious mask, I'd still be wearing it discreetly. His face is already hidden by a hood, too, so why arouse more suspicion by turning his head? I believe your client is the one you should be asking that question. Perhaps he was startled and wasn't expecting anybody else to be around so early morning. Yeah. Another whole going thing like the last time, the end of like the last episode, just like if like Smith was there the whole time and like this is him just like going through like the action like looking over his shoulder doesn't really make much sense. You can just literally just you can literally just say like hi, or like, you know, something like disgruntled, just keep on walking without doing anything. You do make a good point, Mr. Edgeworth. It wasn't just a mask that unnerved me, mind you. Morning to you too, Morag, was his response. And? What's so unnerving about that? So that's the response you'd be expecting. Oh boy. Have you been listening to a word that's been said right? No, because I'm slowly going deaf, don't you know? Miss Weaver stated that the mask she saw the man wearing is what unnerved her. That mask was the first clear sign that something was wrong. And then he spoke. On the journey to work, I kept wondering, why was that man's voice so familiar? Then it clicked, and realized that it was Master Smith's voice I heard. And the conversation recording you had earlier that morning confirms this quite clearly. What's the problem here? I'd like to debunk something like this. Anything else you can tell us about the recording itself, Miss Weaver? There isn't much more I can elaborate on, laddie. Except that the whole affair took place shortly after 5 a.m., as heard at the end of the recording. 5:03 a.m. according to the end of the recording. Ha! Details, details. Well, we are lawyers and we live for technicalities. And so far, this is testimony just seems just like unbreakable. But we'll go through let's cross-reference the evidence after this. There has to be detail in this conversation somewhere that I can latch onto. Something, anything to remove Detective Smith's involvement with a crime. And you're absolutely sure that you heard my client speak to you? Just listen to the response. It's Master Smith without a shadow of a doubt. That voice could have been anyone. The voice isn't that distinct, right? Anyone? Oh my god, you. Sounds pretty distinct to me. I have to agree with Mr. Edgeworth that even I can identify that voice as a defendant. Good, we're all in agreement. It's only you, Master Wright, who refuse to accept the truth. Well, guess what? They say the 5 stages of greed starts with denial, and I'm hardcore into that. Do you want me to move into the next stage right now? There's no denying Detective Smith's voice is that in the recording. Or we just skip over the anger part and just go to bargaining. Does this mean that he was actually there, despite him telling me otherwise? Or the reason, I need to poke a hole in that testimony and fast. Well, that's the thing, because, like, he told us straight out that, you know, he didn't go there and there was no Cyclops, so he couldn't be there at the same time his voice is that, so I don't know. Okay, let's just go through the evidence real quick, just to be sure of things. Okay, not profiles. Let's see. Thank order card from the criminal organization Aculeus. That still has to come up here. It's still like... Oh yeah, Hemlock from like the transitional piece, like brought up, like it was part of like the smuggling ring from Ace Attorney Investigations 1. So, is like, and you really see more of the enigmium. So the culprit is part of the organization. So has to come up later on. Richard's jacket found the arm of the soap of the crime scene. The interior is completely drenched in blood. Don't think it has anything to do with anything right now because we're dealing with something that happened outside the house. An ambulance was called by Brisbane at 5:30. Bloodstains with the numbers 1 and 3. Hot second. No patch from Cherry Greason. That's the 8th B victim. Garrote wire, card piece, and their possible B victim would be the 8th. Since the 3rd, there have been no more card pieces. The garrote wire is the only proof I have of B behind these killings. So proof of possibly a serial killing? But nothing has anything to do with right now. Severe blunt force trauma in the head and torso. Lots of internal and external bleeding. Right arm broken. Okay. Like the wire, possibly the original weapon before Brisbane was being bears to Smith's prints. Forgot Brisbane's unconscious body pressing him, and that's what he looks like before. His coat is off. Plate torn off. Missing enigmium. I'm just gonna take my assailant. Recording the Weaver's cell phone. Just a voice can be heard in the background. Your only daughter. Sorry, I didn't recognize you. Go ahead, go, Mom. You're up early. What's wrong? I'll be quick. What is that? Hold on a second. Good morning to you. Oh, morning to you. You still there, Mom? Yes, I'll call you back later. Call happened at 5:03 a.m. I think we have it. Where is it? The response, morning to you too, Morag. The whole affair took place shortly after 5 a.m. as short the end of the recording. Well, if the phone like is like right, then what does this mean? Objection! I was gonna. Good old Mr. Telephone to the rescue yet again. Well, we gotta combat a telephone with another telephone. Gotcha. Got him. Got him. Miss Weaver, I have a question for you if you don't mind. Where are your manners, laddie? Put your hand up if you have a question. Objection. If that's what it takes. Yes, Master Wright. God damn it. I have a question for you regarding your phone call recording. This recording contains a glaring contradiction with Brisbane's telephone. Only trouble is, which page do I look at? The final one. Okay, Mr. Wright, on which page does this contradiction lie? Final page. It's right here on page 5, Your Honor. I'm getting distinct flashbacks to him, oh, this DL6 case file is large. Which page is it on? It's only 3 goddamn pages. Page 5? Let me see what we have here. I'm afraid you've lost me, Mr. Wright. Don't worry, we're all bad with time. At least I'm bad with time right now. The only thing that I said on this page is, yes, I'll call you back, dear. Don't rush to become a professional impressionist anytime soon. Good to know the judge has terrible voices. Nice. That's not the part I'm talking about, Your Honor. I'm talking about the timestamp at the end of the recording. Miss Weaver, what time did you leave your house in the morning of the crime? I always leave for work around 5 a.m. I love it. 5 a.m.? That would match the timestamp of this recording near enough. I mean that this phone call did indeed happen when you left the house and met the assailant. Yeah, plus, I guess the phone, like, if she doesn't know anything about the phone, like, the phone's right, then, like, she couldn't really change the time, which I doubt you, yeah. So I think the time is right. You're wasting your time with law, boy. You should consider joining math class. Look, is there a point to any of this? Yes, very much. There is. Now we return to the evidence I presented, Brisbane's telephone. Before passing out from blood loss, Brisbane managed to call for an ambulance. At 5:30 a.m. Half an hour later. Oh, boy. So that means the culprit left the house, and then Brisbane just, Wait, no, the culprit went into the house, had the enigma this whole time, like, had it in his hands, then left, and then someone came back and beat Brisbane up to near death? Because, like, what was it? It can't be a whole thing of, like, Brisbane beat himself up to death or something like that, obviously, especially with the garrote wire marker on his neck. That can only be done, like, you know, yeah. So the witness saw the assailant leave at 5 a.m., yet the ambulance was called at 5:30 a.m. It's a half-an-hour time stamp between the assault and the time that the ambulance was called. The notion that Brisbane remained conscious for that long with so much blood loss is a lot hard to believe. So then, why is there a half-hour gap between the assailant's departure and Brisbane's 911 call? Assuming you're capable of explaining this discrepancy? To be honest, I haven't a clue. All I do is point out the inconsistency. It's a stretch, but I think I have an idea, Your Honor. That person Miss Weaver saw really was Detective Smith. This could be turned around into a huge advantage. Our understanding of the crime thus far is that Brisbane's assault happened just before 5 a.m. So why didn't Brisbane call for an ambulance half an hour later? With those injuries sustained, he would have barely been able to stay conscious for that long. I doubt this is a case of, like, you know, he fell unconscious, then, you know, got up and then called police, and then, you know, fell back unconscious again. Because, like, his injuries from the looks of it are wholly severe. So it can't be that. You read my mind, Your Honor. So ask yourselves, what's the only explanation for this time discrepancy? That's right. If we were to believe that Detective Smith really did leave the house at 5 a.m., that leaves a whole half-hour time gap in which the real assailant could have arrived. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, you do make a very convincing argument. There's no way Brisbane could have remained conscious for half an hour before dialing 911. Unless you're mistaken all this time, the crime actually happened after Detective Smith left. Bravo, Wright. That would have made for a decent argument. Were it not for two glaring errors. And what would that be? Number one, defendant left the victim's house with no ill intent. Why, pray tell, would he be dressed in a hooded jacket and wearing a mask? It could just be because, like, well, this all stems back to, like, the phone, like, just the transitional piece. Like, he was blackmailed, like, maybe he wanted to go to Brisbane's house just, like, secretly or something like that? Stuff like that, maybe? That's the best thing it can be. But Phoenix doesn't know that, so, yeah, okay, good point. Number two, if, once again, the defendant left the victim's house with no ill intent. And wait, there's another thing, like, Smith had the enigmium, actually? Like, you know, he went to Brisbane's house, like, hey, can I have the enigmium after all this time? Just Brisbane's like, yeah, sure, it's like worth like $1 billion, but here you go. And just left with it? Yeah, no. If once again the defendant left the victim's house with no ill intent, why, pray tell, was he seen with a red glowing object we can only deduce to be enigmium? Okay, I was ahead of the game. An object, might add, heavily implying murder's intent to obtain? Why indeed? Mr. Wright, do you think you have evidence to answer both these questions? Oh, he's right. There's no possible way I can make Detective Smith look innocent now. I thought not. In that case, I believe another day investigation is required, Your Honor. We need more answers, and particularly we need to find the missing enigmium. Only then can we be sure the defendant actually took it. This time Edwards is the one requesting additional time? And right when he more or less had the case in the bag? Huh. He really has changed. Yes, all the events happening in Investigations 1 and 2, Certainly did a number on him to be more reliable. Yes, he has changed for the better. So much so. It brings a tear to my eye. I agree. In light of what is yet accounted for location and victims ending my ball, I feel I cannot deliver a just verdict this time. I am therefore granting an additional day of investigation in order to seek much needed answers. Upon discovering the nickname's location, as well as verifying the defendant's presence, the half-hour time gap between the assailant's departure and the victim's 911 call must also be addressed. But it's going to be easy to do that with all the evidence suggesting that Detective Smith was there. Hasn't he proved the presence of a third person who could have been there during the half hour? Court is adjourned. April 14th, 11:53 a.m. District Court, November 1. Way to go, Phoenix. Bang up job as always. Oh, nice to see you giving me compliments, Neil. Well, okay, so today's proceedings didn't go too well. But we still had yet another day to work out who the real perpetrator was. And what makes you think that it wasn't me? Why have you got in your head that somebody else did it? There's nobody else involved around to blame. Because you told me yourself that you're not to blame. And You what? Speak up. I believe you. I mean, since nothing happened, then I'm with this thing. Obviously, you're trustworthy, right? Seems shallow, but I'm yeah. You do, huh? I mean, Runwick, I don't think you did it. Despite my traces being all over the house, my voice being heard, you still believe that? Okay, there's far too much to this case that meets the eye. Far too much going on behind the scenes, the straightforward accused Detective Smith. And there were no psych locks either. Yeah. Just to think of it, I haven't seen any psych locks in quite a long time. You're right. Huh. The mechatronic can't be broken or anything, can it? So, genius, where do we start for today's investigations? My first guess would be... Huh? Who'd be calling me at this time? Nikki! Oh, how's it going? Chad, you trying to get Smithy in the clear yet, or what? Actually, no, don't answer that. I saw everything today. Oh, really, did you? Oh, no. This guy again. What do you want from me, Mr. whoever you are? I was starting to think that you see the poor guy's doom in that trial just now. Very shabby job today, sir. Very shabby indeed. Keep it up! You mean you were watching the trial? That I was. You see, Nikki? Can I call you Nikki? Well, you see, Nikki. That client of yours, that's quite the reprobate you got there. What do you mean by that? My client is not as innocent as you convinced yourself he is. Why else do you think he has that hidden past after what was on about? Yeah, he was blackmailed to do things, so not quite innocent. Hidden past? That reminds me of earlier. I have to admit the defendant is quite an enigma, even to me. Oh, so, Mr. Edgeworth? I've had a team of investigators looking into Smith's history, and not one of them has been able to find a thing. The past 5 years of the defendant's life are a total blank, Your Honor. Yeah. 5 years, you say? How very odd. Huh? Why did Smith's recent past be so secretive? And why would my client's past be kept in the dark? Oh, he's in trouble, is Smithy? A lot of trouble. Trouble involving Interpol. Trouble involving the criminal underworld. Trouble, Nikki. Trouble. Yeah, he's blackmailed by you. And let's say he's ticked off some pretty high rollers over the past 5 years or so. I recognize the whole Nikki nicknames and stuff like that. Smithy. Oh, don't believe me? Why not try asking yourself? I reckon you'll spot a psych block or two. Wait, how do you know all this? And who are you? Well, in due time, buddy. Actually, no, wait. See if you can find out. If you make it that far, consider me impressed. Oh, before I go, friendly reminder. The chief wants to see you in his office. Roll along now. Don't keep him waiting. I'll be watching. But, toodles. Okay. Okay. Great. This is just what I need. Damn, Detective Smith slipped out while I was on the phone. Gosh dang it. Well, we gotta confront him in the detention center then. Alright. No time like the present then, I suppose. Wait, hold on a minute. Earlier in that conversation, he didn't say what I think he said, did he? Don't believe me? Why not try asking yourself? I reckon you'll spot a psych lock or two. Oh. How could somebody know about... I must have imagined it. Oh boy. April 14th, Ryan Lopez's. Okay, first things first. I better head over to Criminal Affairs and find out what the Chief of Police wants me for. I shouldn't forget to ask him about the mysterious caller, too. If Edgeworth was right, then Chief Wright might know a thing or two about him. Can't help but feel this unseen spectator knows a little too much about what's going on here. I want to bet that he's involved somehow. But how? And who the heck is he, anyway? I think this is a good place to leave off here. Just from the, general thing of it. So I'm assuming, like, what the whole thing of this investigation is going to be, just trying to figure out how to prove what happened in between that time span. Smith went into, Brisbane's house, like, they talked for a second, or, like, something happened. I'm just going to assume they talked, and, like, for some reason or other, Brisbane just like, oh, you want the Enigmium? Well, here you go. Just handed over, just left? But then, Maybe to keep the Enigmium for safekeeping? But, like, where would Smith put that if it's not in his apartment? Guessing, like, a secret place somewhere? Don't even know where. Because literally, it could just be anywhere in the world by this point. Because, like, when did the crime happen? Well, the crime was reported from, like, at 5:30. Police came there, then, like, had to arrest him at, Smith's apartment. So he could have just hid it somewhere in, like, a half... I would give it a generous that Smith managed to hide the Enigmium in, like, at some sort of half-hour mark. Somewhere. Maybe in the way, like, from, to his apartment from Brisbane's house? Maybe? Although that's gonna be... Yeah, that's gonna be a fruitless search. Oh, boy. Where are we gonna even find the Enigmium? That's one of the big cornerstones of it. It seems like the Enigmium seems like the biggest motive, at least the closest thing we have to a motive on here, anyway. With Hemlock from that cell phone guy, which I'm pretty sure is this person on the phone. Just makes too much sense for it to not be. If it's not Smith, then it must be, like, the killer must be the caller, then, because he's knowing too much about it. He directed, like, both Edgeworth and Phoenix to, like, the crime scene. So, just sort of... That's another thing thinking about it. If this, like, since he knows so much about this crime, he knows about it, like, he directed it, like, he told, Phoenix and, Edgeworth to go to the crime scene before it became public knowledge. So that means that, like, either Hemlock is the person, the mysterious caller, is, like, either someone who's in the police force who wants to, someone in the police force who knows about it. Like, and that could be when the officers on scene, or just, like, someone in the precinct. It could be the chief. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Well, wait, no, hold on a second. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's also, like, snow, but that doesn't really make much sense, really? What was it? Like, it's just another thing. Just, like, why would you bring someone to, like... well, if it's someone in the police force, like, and you literally are, like, bringing it up all the way to, like, you're just putting all the suspicion yourself. Like, all on yourself. Like, literally, it's a whole thing of just pointing it... The crime happened in the middle of the morning, like 5 o'clock, and I forget the timestamp, like, Phoenix got the phone call from, like, Hemlock. Like, why would you put so much suspicion on yourself for anything, for any reason or another? At the same time, he was very cocky about figuring things out. Very cocky. Don't think we even know anyone like that, really. So it has to be someone we've met before on this grand old journey, or just someone here. It was Maya. No, it's not. Or maybe I'm lying again. Oh boy. Just spinning different possibilities around my head for different things. Smith is not too innocent. The whole thing about Hemlock blackmailing him from, like, ever since, the whole thing with, him stealing the Enigmium and giving it to Brisbane. Just, then from then on, he just doing stuff. Wait, I just realized, what was it? Like, maybe Smith is that Oh, Smith is the informant. I forgot about that part. He's in the police force. What the fuck? How did I forget he's the fucking detective? We had a whole case where he's a detective. What is wrong with me? God damn it. Ugh. So he's the informant as the, like, inside job kind of person. Where I guess, That's another thing. Hemlock, there was... I'm assuming that's the thing. Like, the mysterious caller, Hemlock, he has the eyes in the clouds sort of thing. Like, I'm assuming there's like cameras, like hanging cameras in the courtroom or something like that. Don't even know why there'd be there, because he definitely saw Smith, like, just through the eyes and just saw him pick up the Enigma and just walk out with it, but he didn't know where, Smith took it. So, does it make sense for anyone really to be it? Because, like, so either just informants, and what was it? Just another thing with Cyclops. Like, no Cyclops from Smith, we talked to him about, like, even said before, he didn't go to the crime scene. No Cyclops, yet the whoever the masked cloak person was, just, it had to be Smith. Miss Weaver heard his voice, so it can only be him. And Brisbane's phone is on the line, so, like, the crime had to have happened, like, at 5:30 or around then or something like that. Had to be. And that was it. It had to be. Just figure out, like, what happened in time span, just figuring out someone else's points. Another thing, like, Smith's prints are on the murder weapon too, so we need to figure out exactly why his prints are on that as well. Which is another thing is, like, this is a serial killing as well. Oh, this profile's evidence. Like, Greason, just from the looks of it, it's like a Rottweiler serial killing with like, where is any proof I have a bee behind these killings? I would go on for more possibilities going on in circles, but I definitely don't want to give more. I definitely want to, like, close this off real quickly. I don't want to run over a lot of time. Just go on. Oh, look, we started this a half an hour. Oh boy, now it's turned into a whole gosh dang hour. It's running on in circles. I mean, this could be continuing on. So we'll leave this off here. So, what a fun time watching as I am playing this. I'll see you next time. The time may be, and I'll hope you fantastic